What is up, YouTube? It is me, Tom from the Epic Collective, and today I'm going to be bringing you another StarCraft 2 replay. This is from the same series that I have been casting in a row. It is the MLG Winter Arena 2012. I realized I haven't gone to explaining why I'm casting this. It's from a while ago, a few patches ago, for Wings of Liberty, and this is, it's because of the MLG Fall Championship that's going on right now. And that I probably should be watching, but I'm not, because I'd rather be casting, because it's enjoyable, and I like it, and I want to get better at it. And in any case, this is game number 4, MKP versus MVP Dongray Gu. And so far it's been a very interesting matchup, with MVP Dongray Gu taking the first 2 games, the last 2 games, with and MKP taking the first. So right now, really the question is, can MKP win this game and continue on through the series? And you'll notice, I remembered, I started it before I began casting. I think it's pretty clever. I don't know about you, but I have like a checklist now. But one that's not actually written down, and that's only in my head. A mental checklist. I'm not quite at the written checklist stage yet, because I don't like writing. And it's like, write a description. It's like, no, I refuse to write a description. I'll simply... And then I realized, oh, I should probably write a description, and I'd write 2 sentences. Oh, whoops. I always think it's funny to look at the APM tab whenever you start a game, because it really tells you how much they're, APM spamming. Because if you look at the EPM tab... Okay, well, that's very high. That's odd. Well, in any case, it's really just spam most of the time. And there's not really much going on. It's like, okay, rally the worker here, then here, then here, then here, build a barracks. It's not the movement of armies and stopping, target firing, nothing quite that. It's very simple. And anyone really can get such high APM through spam, it's just like this. That's what I do for the first 5 seconds, just to get my hand warmed up. I hotkey my hatchery to 4, spam SD, 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 get some drones. It's very simple. I find this map very interesting because of the wide ramp, and it's a little bit harder for, you to attack and defend, because, it's a wider area. AoE doesn't do quite as well. Colossus, the Colossi do pretty well on this wide ramp, because they have large AoE. And when you have a concave right here, then everything works out very well, as long as they don't have any anti-air. But, for example, if you're doing like a 2-base timing as Zurg with roaches in the relatively early game, that drone is about to die. Okay, it's barely survived. But it does look like Bio is coming out from MKP, which he seems to be doing a lot. I'll go back to the production tab. Bio, a bunker. He's been doing this every time, and so I think that Dongray Gu is very much expecting it now. But 6 Zerglings are about to finish. The Spine Crawler is on the way. I don't think this poses too much of a threat. It is a threat, and it is very dangerous, and I would not like it happening to me. That was a bad trade there. 2 for naught. Especially with this about to finish. And I would be very afraid of 4 Marines with 2 SCVs in a bunker. Okay, only 1 Marine in the bunker, and that's no fun. But it was dealt with rather well. Going back, it doesn't appear that anything has really happened other than the expansion being taken for MKP. And let's look at the saturation. It's pretty good saturation. I would put down gases, depending on what I was doing, in about a minute or so. So everything's looking very standard, very normal. Doesn't look like any gases have been taken for Dongregu, so we could be looking at a high queen build, or just putting off speed. I'm not entirely sure. 4 Ling is going to be getting the scout of this, or 1 really, but that won't really get too far. Won't see anything, like these barracks, for example. But I think he suspects it. This Overlord going to try and hide. Wait for the 7-minute scout, I think. There is the first and there are the first and second gases going down for Dongregu. Speed, of course, not yet taken. And it looks like he's just droning up, which is what I would expect. He doesn't have tabs on his opponent, but that is a very scary army, especially when you compare it with 3 Zerglings and 2 Queens. I mean, 12 Marines. They pack quite a punch. And although the Spine Crawler and the Queens will be very helpful, without support, they won't do much at all. This Overlord is going to see the 2 barracks with tech labs, so he knows there's going to be marauders coming. And he knows that there's going to be stim, most likely. And it's actually combat shields, so we're not going to be looking at any medevacs, I don't think, for quite a while, as it's not even a factory. So very interesting play. I would be making a ton of Lings very soon, but no, it's Roaches. Not my choice, but it's not bad. Just that Roaches, they don't deliver enough DPS to actually do much. I mean, it would take 2-3 hits for a Roach to kill a Marine, and Roaches are more expensive than Marines, and so it's not exactly the best trade possible, especially when they have Marauders mixed in, and they do additional damage to armored units. So this is a very scary push. 2 Roaches, 10 Lings. So we're going to be looking at like 15 Roaches. Yeah, 15 Roaches, 3 Lings. This is not going to be pretty. He's going to need each and every single Ling, every bit of DPS that he can get. I've never really seen a bleeding creep tumor before. I didn't know. I thought they had much smaller DPS, but I guess not. These Lings really just going to die. Not something I'd like to see. But this round was about to be gone by Dongregu. I'm not really sure why he's pushing out like this, being so iffy with his Lings. He's trading reasonably well, but the stutter step from MKP is rather good. If you go to the production tab, we're seeing 2 Marauders and 3 Marines at each point in time. Concussive shells, stim, and level 1 attack is going up. NTS 2 bunkers down, so he definitely isn't going to want to die from a banding bust, as it would take quite a few to break through this rather formidable wall. Another bunker going down, plus a command center. So they're going to be expanding at relatively the same time, but this group of, they could definitely take out this undefended base with these units in the center. But it does look like the Zerglings are going to be able to cut it off, and at least delay it, or trap and kill the units inside. Rather well handled by Dongregu. But I just don't think it's going to be enough. If we look at the production tab, 10 more Lings, and really running. I can kind of see why he would run away with this Roach, just to draw them out. But I mean, I might have just canceled, and I hope he does. I hope he gets it off. He does. Not putting it up. chance. I gotta say, MKP, he's doing really well this game. I mean, he's heavily built in, he's delayed the third. Well, his third itself is about to be established. Plus, with energy from, 2 observable commands, we could be looking at roughly 400 minerals, in addition to others coming in the next minute or so. And now the Circling is going to get the scout off. He knows what's there, what's coming. Both players taking out their circle rocks. Well, now it's just Donregu. MKP having destroyed it. But if we look at the units tab, 8 roaches, 9 banelings, 2 queens, 26 lings, versus 14 marauders and 34 marines. I mean, this is a formidable force, and one that I do not think that Donregu will be able to fully handle. I think he's at least going to have to give up his third base. But it doesn't appear that MKP is going for his third. A few banelings making contact there. Stem taking its toll on these units. But, I mean, that is a lot of marines. But of course there are no medevacs, and so they will die very quickly to these roaches, having no healing powers whatsoever. But, again, roaches don't have that high DPS, and so these marines are going to be able to get away. Oh, but the lings. So that was a rather big loss for MKP. But, I mean, his army, it's already building up, and now he's got medevacs. Plus, I mean, he just finished his upgrades. He's making 7 marines at a time. This is pretty much game over. I mean, these infestors could make a big difference in this, but the attack is so soon, I don't think they'll have enough time to get a fungal, for all of them to have fungal growths. Okay, they do have 3 fungal growths available, in total. But I'm not sure. Oh, that's a very neat trick. But, again, not enough units for Donregu. I mean, look at the supply. It is, with the factory landing, cutting off any reinforcements to this third base. This third base is long gone. And, I mean, as soon as this is gone, I don't think that Donregu will be able to, I mean, he's down by 40 supply, and with weaker units that are lower on upgrades, this just isn't going to end well at all. Yeah, this is awful. Sorry, Donregu, but there's a GG. MKP has tied the series up 2-2, moving on to game number 5. And I will... Yeah, I'm gonna make this one last comment before I end the video. Where that was just very good control by MKP. He managed to kill enough drones, make Donregu dedicate enough resources. He was able to deny the third while taking his own. This was great control by MKP, and definitely something that if you are a Terran player should aspire to. Having such great control, strategy, knowing when and when not to commit. And I mean, this production was, the macro was relentless. I mean, even now he had another army ready to go. There were, of course, not medevacs with that, but there would be in 20 seconds. And so every 20 seconds he has another army. Or every minute or every 2 minutes he can do this. And the Zerg player can't if he loses any drones. I mean, if he doesn't take up fast enough. Plus, if you go infestors, every 2 minutes, it's, I mean, 120 energy, you can get a few fungals, but you kill the infestors, he's got to spend more gas, and stuff just goes downhill very quickly for the Zerg player. Alright, well, in the top right, there will be an annotation for game number 5. I'm Tom from the Epic Collective, and I wish you happy gaming.